Live from Vanguardia America headquarters in Phoenix, I'm James Garcia. More than 200 artists, activists, and community leaders have penned a letter in a sign of solidarity with Latinos nationwide. The letter was published on Friday in several major newspapers, including the New York Times and La Opinión in Los Angeles. It comes in the wake of a mass shooting that killed 22 people, mostly Latinos, in El Paso earlier this month. Led by actors of Vanguardia America and others, the letter's authors wrote, "We have been smeared by political rhetoric and murdered in violent hate crimes. We have been separated from our families and watched our children get caged. But we will not be broken. We will not be silenced." Immigrants' rights advocates nationwide are taking the Trump administration to court to block a federal initiative that could keep hundreds of thousands of legal immigrants from gaining permanent residency and U.S. citizenship. The rule change would make it harder for legal immigrants to apply for a green card if the government concludes they are likely to use federal public assistance programs such as food stamps or subsidized housing. Attorneys general from nearly 20 states and the District of Columbia, along with several major independent advocacy groups, say the new rules violate the constitutional right to equal protection and states' rights. In her new memoir, Mariana Atencio, a reporter for MSNBC, says she was once told by a manager not to, quote, look too Latina at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Atencio writes about the encounter in her new book, Perfectly You, Embracing the Power of Being Real. Quoting her manager, Atencio writes, "Have them pick out something demure, not too colorful or tight. Think Ivanka Trump, okay?" In a statement to USA Today last week, MSNBC called the comments highly inappropriate, adding that immediate action was taken to address the manager's comments, though no additional details were provided. A new survey by the Public Religion Research Institute finds that 48% of U.S. Latinos oppose the practice of legal abortion in all or most cases, while 45% say they support it. The study's authors say that opposition to legal abortion among Latinos has dropped by 4 percentage points since 2014. Nationally, 54% of those surveyed said they support legal abortion in all or most cases. 60% of Asian and Pacific Islander Americans and 58% of African Americans support legal abortion. A federal appeals court says the Trump administration's asylum rule can be applied in Arizona and California, but not in Texas and New Mexico. The Trump administration wants to impose a blanket rule that requires migrants seeking asylum to apply first in a country that they pass through on their way to the United States. Refugees from Guatemala, for instance, would have to apply for asylum in Mexico first. The American Civil Liberties Union, which is challenging the Trump administration's policy, say they will go back to court to ask a judge to temporarily block the federal measure nationwide. Reuters news service says Venezuela could be blockaded by U.S. naval vessels if President Trump moves ahead with a plan he's been discussing with U.S. Defense Department officials. Venezuela, which is facing economic collapse, is ruled by President Nicolás Maduro, who rose to power after the death of Hugo Chavez in 2013. Chavez, a fiery socialist, died of cancer. Latin American leaders, as well as Russia and China, have cautioned the United States against invading Venezuela. Visit VanguardiaAmerica.com for more news or to listen to our weekly podcast interviews. For Vanguardia America, I'm James Garcia.